Lauren McCluskey was a bright, ambitious college athlete with a promising future until she mysteriously vanished without a trace. Surveillance footage captured a chilling scene. A man dressed in a Deadpool costume walking casually through a campus parking lot in broad daylight. For 2 weeks, this same man had been following 22-year-old Lauren. Then, on October 22, 2018, she disappeared. Just 9 days earlier, on October 13th, Lauren had reported to campus police that she was getting threatening text messages from unknown numbers. Over the next week, she called them 14 times, desperate for help, but her concerns were ignored. Footage from October 9th shows that same man lurking in the parking lot 10 days before Lauren met her boyfriend, Shawn Fields, for what would be their final meeting, captured on university security cameras. According to one of her friends, Lauren planned to break up with him that day. But here's the twist. Shawn Fields wasn't his real name. The truth behind Lauren's disappearance might have stayed buried forever if not for the clues she left behind. Clues that would ultimately reveal who the man in the Deadpool costume really was and what happened to her. To understand Lauren's story, we have to go back to where it all began. Back in 2013, in the small Washington town of Pullman, Lauren lived with her parents, Matthew and Jill. She was happy, focused, and surrounded by friends. Even as a little girl, she stood out, fast, agile, and fiercely determined. Her parents quickly realized she had something special. With their support, Lauren poured her heart into sports, eventually finding her passion in track and field. By just 10 years old, she was competing at the USA Junior Olympics and took home second place. By the time she graduated high school, her hard work had paid off. The University of Utah noticed her talent and offered her a full athletic scholarship. In September 2015, Lauren and her parents made the long drive to Salt Lake City, her new home, and the start of an exciting new chapter. Saying goodbye wasn't easy. She was their only child. But Lauren was confident, independent, and ready to take on the world. Within weeks, she had settled into campus life, surrounded by friends and fellow athletes, her future looking brighter than ever. One of Lauren's closest friends was Alex, the kind of friend who felt more like a sister. Over the next 3 years, the two were inseparable. Lauren continued to shine in everything she did, juggling her classes, training for track meets, and still finding time for laughter-filled nights with her tight-knit circle of friends. But everything changed on the night of September 1st, 2018. Lauren had just turned 21. To celebrate, she and Alex planned a fun night out. A little music, a few drinks, and some dancing. It was the start of her senior year, a moment that should have been full of excitement and hope. That Saturday night, the streets of downtown Salt Lake City were alive, packed with students enjoying the weekend. Lauren and Alex made their way to the London Bell, a popular bar known for its music and energy, just 15 minutes from campus. Before they could walk in, they were stopped at the door by a tall, confident bouncer. Charming, well over 6 feet tall, and quick with a smile, he introduced himself as Shawn Fields. After checking their IDs, he let them inside. The night was filled with laughter and dancing, just what Lauren needed. But when midnight rolled around, it was time to head home. As they stepped outside, a familiar voice called out her name. It was Shawn. He touched her shoulder lightly, flashed that same easy grin, and struck up a conversation. They talked for a while, and before the night ended, Shawn asked her out on a date. The next day, September 2nd, Lauren got ready with butterflies in her stomach. She'd never had a serious boyfriend before, but something about Shawn drew her in. He was kind, attentive, and easy to talk to. He told her he was 28 and studying computer science, working part-time as a bouncer to pay his bills. Lauren believed she'd met someone who truly saw her. On their first date, she couldn't stop smiling. He made her laugh, listened closely, and made her feel safe, qualities she'd always wanted in a partner. As she walked home that night, her heart felt light. Shawn seemed perfect, hardworking, down-to-earth, and genuinely interested in her. But it wouldn't be long before her friends started noticing things. Subtle red flags. strange behaviors, and moments that just didn't feel right. Signs that the man who seemed so perfect might not have been who he claimed to be. The confident, independent Lauren McCluskey her friends once knew was starting to fade. Something about her had changed. Her energy, her spark, even the way she spoke. Shawn's sweet affection had slowly turned into control. He called and texted her constantly, demanding to know where she was, what she was doing, and who she was with. And Lauren always answered immediately, almost like she was afraid of what might happen if she didn't. Though they'd only been dating a few weeks, Shawn had practically moved into her dorm. He made friends with students in the building so he could come and go without ever needing a keycard. Meanwhile, Lauren became quieter, more distant. The once outgoing, driven athlete was now anxious, distracted, and exhausted. Her friends could see something was deeply wrong. Then, on October 1st, barely a month after they met, things took a disturbing turn. Shawn told Lauren he had a gift for her, something he said would keep her safe. That gift was a loaded military-grade handgun. Lauren's friends were horrified. They immediately reached out to Diamond, another student who worked in campus housing and served as their resident assistant. They told her everything, how controlling Shawn had become and how dangerous the situation felt. But instead of calling the police, Diamond was instructed to simply email campus security and document the situation. The next day, October 2nd, university security received that first email warning about Shawn Fields. It detailed how Lauren might be in a dangerous relationship with a non-resident boyfriend, someone who had given her a gun and might even be following her around campus. Days passed. No response ever came. The warning was ignored. Then, on October 9th, Lauren made a chilling discovery. While Shawn was away, she found his ID. But something was off. The photo was right. The name and birth date were not. The card read Melvin Roland. Age 37, not 28. Not Shawn Fields. Her heart dropped. Lauren immediately turned to the internet, determined to find out who this man really was. And what she found was horrifying. Shawn didn't exist. Her boyfriend was actually Melvin Roland, a man with a long criminal record, including felony charges for attempting to solicit a minor online, enticing a minor, and repeatedly violating parole. He wasn't a college student. He wasn't who he said he was. He was a convicted sex offender, and Lauren was now trapped in a nightmare she never saw coming. A quick online search confirmed Lauren's worst fear. Melvin Roland wasn't just lying about his name and age. He was also on parole. That night, October 9th, Lauren sat in her dorm, heart pounding, waiting for Melvin to show up. She'd made up her mind. It was over. As soon as he walked through the door, she confronted him, laying out everything she'd discovered. Melvin's charm vanished in an instant. His expression hardened. His tone turned cold. He grew defensive, even angry, denying everything. But Lauren didn't back down. She stood her ground and told him their relationship was finished. Hours passed as she pleaded with him to leave until finally he did. The next day, October 10th, she made it official. The relationship was done, and she tried to move on, believing he was out of her life for good. But she was wrong. Soon the messages began. Unfamiliar numbers, unknown senders, each text more disturbing than the last. Age 37, not 28. Not Shawn Fields. Her heart dropped. Lauren immediately turned to the internet, determined to find out who this man really was. And what she found was horrifying. Shawn didn't exist. Her boyfriend was actually Melvin Roland, a man with a long criminal record, including felony charges for attempting to solicit a minor online, enticing a minor, and repeatedly violating parole. He wasn't a college student. He wasn't who he said he was. He was a convicted sex offender, and Lauren was now trapped in a nightmare she never saw coming. A quick online search confirmed Lauren's worst fear. Melvin Roland wasn't just lying about his name and age. He was also on parole. That night, October 9th, Lauren sat in her dorm, heart pounding, waiting for Melvin to show up. She'd made up her mind. It was over. As soon as he walked through the door, she confronted him, laying out everything she'd discovered. Melvin's charm vanished in an instant. His expression hardened. His tone turned cold. He grew defensive, even angry, denying everything. But Lauren didn't back down. She stood her ground and told him their relationship was finished. Hours passed as she pleaded with him to leave until finally he did. The next day, October 10th, she made it official. The relationship was done, and she tried to move on, believing he was out of her life for good. But she was wrong. Soon the messages began. Unfamiliar numbers, unknown senders, each text more disturbing than the last. Footage shows him following Lauren around a corner. She had no idea he was there. In his hand was a small black bag. Later, police would discover what was inside: a .40 caliber Beretta, fully loaded. 3 days later, October 22nd, he came back. Multiple campus cameras caught him again, moving from building to building, searching for Lauren. And once again, that same black bag was with him. That evening, around 8 p.m., Lauren finished her last class of the day and began walking back to her dorm, just as she did every night. As she walked, she called her mom, Jill, back home in Washington. It was something they did almost every day: quick check-ins about school, track practice, or just how her day went. But this call was different. As they talked, Jill and Matthew suddenly heard strange noises on the other end of the line. Then a scream, and then silence. Their daughter was gone. After weeks of ignored warnings, police finally began to take Lauren's case seriously. They launched an immediate search across campus, but she was nowhere to be found. Lauren's parents called constantly, desperate for updates. As officers widened the search area, then a breakthrough. A student contacted police after stumbling upon something near a parking lot. Scattered on the ground were Lauren's personal belongings, her phone, her ID, everything, but still no Lauren. Police flooded the area with canine units and patrol cars. A shelter-in-place alert went out across campus, and authorities released the suspect's photo: Melvin Roland. His image spread across TV screens, news feeds, and social media within minutes. Time was running out, and Lauren was still missing. Reviewing footage, investigators spotted Melvin at 8:21 p.m., leaving campus and walking toward a nearby light rail station before getting into a car driven by an unknown person. For hours, there was no sign of him, no trace of Lauren. Then, late that night, police received a call. A woman, terrified, said she'd just seen Melvin's face on the news. She recognized him instantly because earlier that evening, he'd been out with her under a fake name. She had met him on a dating app. That night, she picked him up from the train station, and the two went out for dinner before heading back to her place. He took a shower there, then left just after midnight. Around 1 a.m., an officer spotted Melvin walking near 200 East and 500 South in downtown Salt Lake City. But as soon as they approached, Melvin took off running, sprinting down the dark streets, desperate to get away. Officers chased him through the quiet city blocks until he disappeared into the night. Moments later, they realized he'd broken into a nearby church and locked himself inside. The area was quickly placed on lockdown. Police surrounded the building, their lights cutting through the darkness. Then, out of nowhere, gunshots. Officers forced their way through the heavy wooden doors, weapons drawn, prepared for the worst. Inside, they found Melvin Roland dead. While part of the team had been tracking him, other officers were still out searching for Lauren. They combed through her dorm room, checked every lead, every hallway. But there was no sign of her. Then later that night, investigators located a small silver 4-door sedan registered to Melvin. When they approached the car and looked inside, they froze. Inside the vehicle was a body. An officer immediately radioed for medical assistance, but it was too late. That same night, October 22nd, 2018, Lauren's parents, Matthew and Jill, received a phone call from her university track coach. It was the call every parent dreads. Lauren was gone. Her friends were in disbelief. Her father, heartbroken. The entire campus fell silent. In the days that followed, the University of Utah held a candlelight memorial to honor Lauren. A life full of promise, stolen far too soon. Her parents, Matt and Jill, were devastated. But more than that, they were furious. They had watched their daughter beg for help, report threats, do everything she could, only to be ignored. To them and to so many others, this wasn't just a tragedy, it was a complete failure of the system that was supposed to protect her. The pleas Lauren made for help, the ones that went unanswered, became the heart of a national outcry. As public criticism of the university grew, the president held a press conference that only fueled the anger. He claimed there was nothing campus security could have done to prevent Lauren's death. For her parents, Matthew and Jill, those words were devastating. They couldn't accept that their daughter's death was being brushed aside, that the very system meant to protect her refused to take responsibility. So they fought back. Believing the university had failed their daughter, they filed a lawsuit, not for money, but for change. They wanted to make sure no other family would ever endure the same heartbreak. In Lauren's honor, they founded the McCluskey Foundation, dedicated to improving campus safety, building awareness about relationship violence, and giving students the tools to protect themselves, not just in Utah, but across the world. Lauren's story stands as a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly life can change, how a single failure to listen can lead to an unthinkable loss. If Lauren's story moved you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We share new true crime stories every night, real cases, real people, and lessons that should never be forgotten. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.